This is Blessed by Design number 10. It's Jerry coming to you from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in beautiful downtown Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It's a beautiful day out. We're having a Taita week. We're sold out. Life is good at Rythmia. Yeah. What is Rythmia? Rythmia is a life advancement center that believes in a soul merger. We believe something happened to all of us by design when we're young that splits us from our soul. And then all addictions, all diseases, all disorders, all unhappiness comes out of that split. And then what happens in the remerger is all of that comes back together again, and our futures look different. What about Rythmia? 13,000 guests through the door this week, I believe. It's either this week or next week, and I'll check in my next meeting. But 13,000 people, 95.75% of them report a life-changing miracle during their stay. 91.88% of them say that this was the week that changed their life. Crazy, right? Over 2,000 TripAdvisor reviews, and we're in the top 10 resorts in the world for percentage of 5-star reviews to overall reviews. So last week I was in Turks and Caicos, and I was broadcasting from Turks and Caicos, and I talked about how to not quit, how that there is this system of manifestation that begins with being merged and picking our way to be a beneficial presence on the planet from that merged state, knowing that it's going to take 10 years, knowing that it's going to be harder than anything we've ever done, knowing that it's going to reap greater rewards and greater benefits than we could ever imagine. And then part of that system is writing it down. And then the other part of the system is making an agreement to not deviate from this thing. So then people say, well, I got this woman who wrote me and said, well, where is there room for surrender in that? And I really do know. I know where the room for surrender. The time to surrender is when all other options have been exhausted. You do not surrender because a bank told you no. You do not surrender because your mom told you weren't good. That's not how you surrender. You surrender after all options have been exhausted. You surrender. And you surrender to the result. Now, when you surrender to that result, you tweak it and shoot again. You tweak it and shoot again. You tweak it and shoot again. That is the recipe for success or manifestation as we know it, right? Because it's this constant act of having a result, adjusting it, and then having the result. So you don't surrender to the process, you surrender to the result. In other words, the process is going to be hard, and it's going to be harder than anything you've ever done. As a matter of fact, there's this scale that the more light of the thing that you're working on, the harder it is. The more light, because darkness tries to offset that, right? So just know that. But the more joy in doing that, the more gratitude, the more fulfillment, the more true pleasure, not temporary pleasure, the more true pleasure in doing that, to know that you were really here. And then a lot of people say, well, why do it? Well, there are two reasons to do it, right? Either you believe that you're coming back. So most people who've done plant medicine and have separated from their body know that they've been here before, or at least believe and talk about their being here before, and then know that they're going to be coming back. That's the first reason to do it. Do it for a selfish reason. If you can't do it for a selfish reason, do it for an unselfish reason. And the unselfish reason, which is really beautiful, is I'm going to make this planet a better place for the people who come after me. Either way, both work, right? And listen, when I talk about making it a better place, I'm also talking about as a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an uncle, a community, a business, however you're going to, or your skills, like Hun, it stopped again. Is it going okay there? Okay. Well, I just want to check. Am I going?
It's the Facebook problem. It's like Facebook stops.
Uh-huh.
And YouTube, you continue.
Uh-huh. So leave this one going and delete the other YouTube one and put this one to Facebook. Okay? So I'm saying to you, let's see what she said. Huh? Okay, so we're going to leave this one going and then we're going to put it on. I guess we're going to put it on later. Is that how we do that? Mm-hmm. Can we put this YouTube one on Facebook later? Yeah. Okay, good. So what I'm saying is that it's all hard in however you do it for the benefit of future generations or for the benefit of the next trip around. They're both great reasons. And I'm going to tell you what, if you decide, us back on now, if you decide to really become part of this and to say, I'm going to leave my mark, I'm going to be a beneficial presence, that process is a beautiful, fulfilling process. Just the act of doing it, knowing that you're giving back. A lot of people say, well, why should I give back? Well, this planet, this garden of a planet sustained your life. It gave you a chance, and that chance is the most valuable thing in the world. There's nobody that I know who's ever died and in that dying process wasn't trying to hang on to life. Life is such a beautiful gift, and life on this planet is amazing. It's a garden of a planet. So this is the gift. That's why to give something back to it. That's why to teach a child. That's why to start a business that benefits people, or become a great musician or artist or painter, whatever you're going to do, or be a beneficial presence in the way that you are designed to be a beneficial presence. I want to talk about that. So you say, Jerry, I didn't find out what I was designed for. So I'm going to say, what do you like? So here's two things that in my generation, this is going to be arguable, but the two basketball players who ever lived, in my opinion, are Michael Jordan and Kobe. Both of them stunk at basketball when they first did it. Stunk. So what I'm going to tell you is, and by the time they were done, they're two of the greatest masters to ever dribble a basketball, shoot a basketball, right? By the time they were done, why? Because they were turned on by something. Something grabbed them. Now, to get in tune with what's grabbing you, you do this thing called a soul merger. And if you can get to a place like this, like rythmia, that's the easy way. That is the short. And when I say easy, everybody always catches me on this. I don't mean it's easy, because when I talk to the people who are checking out of here, they always say, this is the hardest week of work I've ever done. So it's not easy. It's a condensed time frame. It's a lot of work in a short time. But when you have this done and you can pick from that spot, not pick from what's going to impress my neighbor, or pick from what's going to impress my teacher or my uncle or my dad or my mom, but pick from what's going to impress me. What is the thing that I want to make? Boom, you're on it. Then make it bigger than you have any right to make anything. Make it bigger than you have any right to make anything. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to be a writer, set out to write the most beautiful piece of music that's ever been written. Set out to write the most beautiful book that's ever been written. Set out to paint the most beautiful painting that's ever been. Make it bigger than you can ever imagine, much bigger than you. And you'll be surprised how the divinity that runs through us takes over and allows us to make masterpieces. Masterpieces of businesses, masterpieces of healing, masterpieces of cooking, masterpieces of writing. That is the divinity that's within us. And when you now there's the thing to surrender to that part of you that controls it. Now in this interim, in these interims, you have to keep your agreement with yourself. What is your agreement with yourself? Well, the first agreements are that I'm going to keep cognizant of this goal, of this thing that I'm trying to build. Number one. Number two, how am I going to do that? Through awareness. I have a daily practice. I get up, I do some limited exercise, whatever that is, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I pray. By pray, I mean spiritual mind treatments, giving thanks for things that did not happen yet. You can use breath work, you can use meditation, you can use whatever you do. And then I'm going to work at this X amount come hell or high water. In rain, sleet, snow, sickness, health, I'm going to do it. Now, when you commit to that and you really make those commitments, that thing that you're working for is already yours. You start vibrating like it, and the road continues to be revealed to you, and your divinity takes over, and you start doing really, really good. And then at about year 7, you start to get this mastery. And once this mastery occurs, that is the first feeling of, oh my God, I am in accord on this planet. I know why I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I'm kicking butt and taking names. Then that feeling of mastery happens, and everybody once in your life should have the ability or should have the chance to feel that mastery, because once that's occurring, you are as the divine. You are the God in you. You are doing it. You are participating in the universe and helping, and that becomes this snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the thing that you get when you stick to something. Because when you give up, when you surrender to the things that are happening, the little things, and you surrender to them, you're always in startup. So did you notice that at year 7, these things start really clicking? And most people are constantly in year 1. They're starting over all the time. You know why? They picked the thing from a fractured place, and from a fractured place, it is not a deep enough commitment. So the first time that the cake burns in the oven, they give up. The first time that they go to perform in front of people and get booed, they give up. The first time that they draw a painting and people laugh at it, they give up, right? And then I no longer want to be a painter. I want to be a singer or a writer, and they're constantly turning over jobs, people, and that is not where the sweetness is. The sweetness is in the sticking to it. And I want to tell you, the beauty of that is feeling this connection with yourself, that you can rely on yourself. And I don't mean rely, I do mean to rely to make enough money to live and all that, but I mean relying more importantly than that. In other words, that the agreements that I make with myself, I honor despite the which way the wind is blowing. I honor those despite little circumstances. So when I get up to pray, I'm going to pray. When I get up to do my little workout, I'm going to work out, and I'm going to do it even when I'm sick, because it makes me feel better. Yeah, I did it. I'm coughing, and I did it today, right? So it's this overall thing. So I want you to surrender to that result, and then learn from it and fire again, and learn from it and fire again, and learn from it and fire again. Now, I have a great joy at Rythmia, because we service people as young as 18, and and there's no limit on the age. But every week there's people in their 70s and 80s here. And when I see the joy that they experience when they have this merger, and all the time that's been wasted is given back to them, they're brand new. So we have this endless supply of chances. So if you're alive and you're hearing this, you have a chance. And the chance, the great nature, the regenerative nature of the universe, is it doesn't care about yesterday. It only cares about what you're going to do today. It only cares about where you are in this moment. So that is my message for this week. I'm sorry for all the technical issues, but that is my message. And I look forward to chatting with you next week We got off to a little rough start there with the technicalities, but we're good now. So cheers. Have a wonderful week. God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday.